money while people are suffering out there under high taxation, high electricity bills, high burdens of excessive cost of living, and you doling out this money to these people. What are they doing for it? What have they done? How long you have been paying them? And how exactly, Madam Speaker, will this legislation before us deal with such outrageously corrupt practices that injure the public interest? Madam Speaker, it has come to my attention that a particular board member of the medical benefits scheme is involved with his brother in selling pharmaceutical and medical supplies to the scheme from a warehouse consolidation operation in the US. If the minister is aware of this, what is he doing about it, Madam Speaker? And how does he propose, Madam Speaker, that the public should be protected from this kind of abuse on the board of the new Mount St. John Medical Center board? Madam Speaker, we all know that the brother of the same medical benefit scheme board member and a particular crony of the Minister of Health was given a contract without tender. He said earlier today that it went to the tenders board. But I read the newspapers every day and I never recall seeing the invitation to tender as prescribed in the tenders board legislation, that you ought to advertise the tenders. But this crony of the Minister of Health was given a contract, Madam Speaker, without tender for doing the wiring for the hospital's computer network.
Honorable member.
Despite, Madam
Honorable
Speaker.
member. You don't have to call somebody's name in order to identify them. And again, please do not identify, even by implication, people who do not have the right of reply.
Madam Speaker, I have not called nobody's name.
But you can identify people by what you're saying.
But Madam
you don't
Speaker,
have to call somebody's name to identify them.
Facts, and I would like to
Honorable
develop
member,
my point.
People who do not have the right of reply, you should not abuse the privilege.
I am not abusing the privilege, Madam Speaker. I'm stating a very, very serious situation that this country ought to know that is taking place as we speak.
And what is the relevance exactly?
Well,
to
I
this
am
bill?
going to, the member for St. John's Rural North went at length to explain the tender that he said for the Dell computers. So I'm responding to that. I am responding to that, Madam Speaker.
So you're speaking about the computers now?
Yes. Without tender. He said there was tender. I am saying that it was not advertised in the local newspaper.
Madam Speaker, this is a document from the tenders board. What the member is saying is factually incorrect. He has nothing to refute that. This is a document from the tenders board.
People are, what is his point of order? You'll have a chance to wrap up.
Honorable
You'll have a chance.
Honorable member for
You'll
St.
have a
Peter.
chance to respond.
I allowed him just now and I allowed him the previous time on the standing order 33-4. If you'd care to look.
I don't have my standing orders.
Okay.
But Madam Speaker, it is a fact though, Madam Speaker, that this board member's cousin put in a lower bid than him. But what most people do not know, Madam Speaker, and I'm going to tell you now, and this is a fact, is that the same board member's brother was given the contract to supply the same computer hardware for the Mount St. John Medical Center. He specified Dell computers, but his bid was so outrageously high that it's a fact. But let me finish my presentation.
But he's imputing improper motive
to who?
Again.
To you?
Yes, you keep pointing to me, Madam Speaker, that I am doing something with somebody.
I always pointed to you. When did I point to you? Not pointing to him, Madam Speaker. Never pointed to you. I'm laying the facts and saying what happened. And Madam Speaker, the board member was told, there was a board member that objected categorically, and it's in the minutes of the medical benefits. He said, why don't we go straight to Dell? And they went straight to Dell. And the quotation from Dell was millions of dollars less. So what? For the supply of all the hardware, computers.
Honorable member. for St. Peter.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
So, from that, you're saying what?
Well, let me finish.
Because I'm mindful that the other member is accusing you of imputing improper motives. So you're talking about these quotations.
Nothing to do with the member. I'm not speaking about him.
No, I'm asking you what am I to draw from what you're saying now?
I'm not finished.
Because the other honorable member already went over this and presented his evidence. I don't know if you were here.
I'm not
That
finished.
there was a letter actually submitted from the tenders board.
Madam Speaker, I am not finished.
Okay, go ahead.
Because if the country wants to know the facts, I will state the facts, because that's what I'm here to do. I don't know why we hide in the people's business. I don't know why. When Lester Bird awarded me as a private citizen a contract to supply galvanized and lumber to this country, it was the biggest hooah that I'm a crony of Lester Bird and this and bubble and scandal. But it's okay, it's okay for the honorable member, a board member of the Medical Benefits Board, my cousin, my blood relative if you want to know, my first cousin Jean-Pierre Shaul award, sat on a board and allowed his brother Gerald Shaul to get the contract. That is right?
Honorable member for St. Peter?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
I just asked you not to call people's names in here. No, nobody can force you to do anything. I already ruled on it.
Speaker.
And if you do it again, I'm going to ask you to sit down.
Yeah, but Madam Speaker, let me finish my presentation. He took 2 hours.
He had 2 hours.
You don't want to hear the truth?
Honorable member, you know he had 2 hours.
Okay.
That is his right.
I have an hour. He's taking up more than
Yes,
an
but
hour.
I'm telling you, I don't want you calling people's names in here who don't have the right of reply. I said this 1,000 times.
What about other people that have the right, don't have the right to reply?
Honorable member, don't argue with me.
Anyway, Madam Speaker, I want to again take a minute to ask this House the question. Why is there such a rush now to slip in a poorly drafted legislation to open Mount St. John right on the eve of a general election, when you have wasted 5 years fiddling and twiddling? This is, of course, a rhetorical question, Madam Speaker, which I'll answer nonetheless. Clearly, the UPP could never hope to get any significant political mileage, since Antigua and Barbuda and the entire world know that this is a Labour Party project which they try to kill. The real reason, though, Madam Speaker, for the rush of this legislation is to solidify all these inflated last-minute contracts for their cronies and to install and set up their political lackeys, Madam Speaker, with all sorts of positions on the board. Hence the need for this ill-advisedly over-empower the minister, over-empower him with legislation and set abnormally long terms of 5 years for positions on the board, knowing fully well that they're going to lose the election within a few weeks. Madam Speaker, legislation is passed from one government to the next, Mr. Prime Minister. You know that? You don't pass legislation today for one government. You passed it for future generations. Madam Speaker, we will get that opportunity, my dear Prime Minister. We noted Section 13, the provisions for the appointment of the medical staff under the terms and conditions approved by the Minister. First of all, Madam Speaker, why on earth is a minister? A minister. He was, but no longer. What's that? First of all, why on earth does a minister have to be involved in appointing medical staff? What business of that is yours? Huh? Section 13. Look at it, man. I write it, you bring it here before us. Appointment of medical staff. The board may, after consultation with the medical executive committee and under terms and conditions approved by the minister. What do you mean, where is it? You can see? You can read?